Another Spider-Man 4 rumor just dropped, and this one ties directly into Mark Ruffalo's Hulk making a comeback in Brand New Day. According to Alex Perez from the Cosmic Circus, Bruce Banner will be at his breaking point after realizing his worst fears about the Hulk have come true. With Tatiana Maslany's She-Hulk and Harrison Ford's Red Hulk now in play, Banner's sense of control starts slipping fast. That pressure supposedly sets the stage for the return of the Savage Hulk, Banner's most brutal and dangerous alter ego. The emotional strain might be enough to push him into that form, and that's reportedly where his story begins in Brand New Day. On top of that, Perez teased Banner's role here could actually set up his bigger part in Avengers Doomsday. As of now, Marvel hasn't confirmed Ruffalo's return, but the puzzle pieces are lining up. This all hits harder because Captain America Brave New World already stirred controversy for including Hulk villains like Red Hulk and the Leader, plus Ross and Betty, without ever featuring the Hulk himself. That choice kept the spotlight on Sam Wilson's big debut as Cap, but it left a very noticeable Hulk-shaped hole. The move ended up dividing critics and didn't do the movie any favors at the box office. But leaving Hulk out also means Marvel has more room to reintroduce him in a bigger way. The time gap makes it easier to justify Banner slipping back into his primal Savage Hulk form, while Brave New World itself did the groundwork by setting up trauma-driven enemies that naturally explain Hulk's reversion without needing too much exposition on screen. That's why so many theories about Spider-Man 4 point to Hulk coming back in his classic form. Smart Hulk was a fun twist in Endgame, but it stripped away a lot of what made the character compelling in the first place. Just like in the comics where Professor Hulk wasn't permanent, the MCU seems ready to swing things back to basics. With so few of the original Avengers still around, Hulk is more vital than ever, yet his arc has been stuck in neutral for years. Now, with She-Hulk, Scar, Red Hulk, and the Leader all firmly in the mix, bringing back the unchained, destructive Hulk doesn't just restore his raw power, it creates ripple effects for every one of these characters moving forward. Marvel recently trademarked the title World War Hulk alongside Nova and Ghost Rider, which feels like a pretty big hint at what's coming down the line. Reports suggest World War Hulk is being lined up as one of the first major projects to follow Secret Wars, with a potential release window somewhere around late 2028 or 2029. That said, Marvel's schedule is constantly shifting depending on pitches, directors, availability, and even which characters are trending, so nothing's locked in. Still, it's clear the studio wants to do more with Hulk. Production could even quietly start next year if it turns out to be one of those mystery projects Marvel hasn't officially revealed yet. The tricky part is the Hulk film rights. Nobody has officially confirmed whether Marvel fully got them back from Universal, which might explain why this isn't being billed as The Incredible Hulk 2. Instead, a film that assembles multiple Hulks into one story could be their workaround. In the comics, World War Hulk follows directly after Planet Hulk. The Illuminati decide Banner is too dangerous, so they trick him into a rocket and launch him into space. He eventually makes his way back to Earth absolutely enraged, sparking one of the most violent and destructive arcs in Marvel history. Mark Ruffalo has even teased in interviews that Marvel once explored a Planet Hulk film that would have filled in Banner's missing 2 years on Sakaar between Age of Ultron and Ragnarok. But with She-Hulk not exactly clicking with audiences and Marvel going through a period of underperforming projects and reshuffling priorities, that plan seemed dead. Even so, World War Hulk is too massive of a storyline to leave on the shelf. With Marvel now resetting its slate, reviving the project makes sense. And it wouldn't be surprising if development is already happening quietly behind the scenes. They know World War Hulk has billion-dollar potential, and sources say they're reworking the script with a fresh creative team before making anything public. Captain America 4 was originally meant to plant the seeds for this storyline, but those ties were cut before the final version. Now Marvel looks to be rebuilding World War Hulk from scratch with new writers and possibly a new director. One of the names in the mix is George Miller, the mastermind behind Mad Max. Apparently, Miller met with Kevin Feige recently about a Marvel project, a meeting set up by Chris Hemsworth after the two worked together on Furiosa. Early rumors lean toward Thor 5, but reports say Miller is more interested in a Hulk movie. That's where World War Hulk gets interesting. By loading the film with multiple Hulk-like characters, She-Hulk, Red Hulk, Scar, it technically becomes a crossover event, and that might be Marvel's legal loophole. By positioning it as a team-up film rather than a straight solo sequel, Disney could distribute it without needing Universal's sign-off. For fans who've been waiting to see the true Hulk unleashed again, World War Hulk has the potential to be the ultimate redemption arc. This is Marvel's chance to bring back the raw power, the fury, and the emotional weight that made Hulk such a force to begin with. The MCU won't follow the comics exactly, but the spirit of the story is clear. In the original arc, Bruce returns to Earth in a blind rage after the destruction of Sakaar. He comes back to conquer. New York turns into a war zone as Hulk plows through Earth's heroes. The defining moment, though, is the Gladiator Arena, where Hulk flips the script by forcing Earth's mightiest to fight each other the same way he was forced to fight on Sakaar. Marvel almost never does one-to-one adaptations, so a World War Hulk movie would probably end up as a mashup of different arcs. Back in 2017, legendary Marvel writer Peter David pointed out that another Hulk story titled Future Imperfect would make the good movie. That arc puts Hulk front and center for the entire run, which has been rare in recent MCU films. With so many characters filling Marvel's sandbox, it's become harder to give Hulk his own stage, but mixing in pieces of Future Imperfect could change that, especially with the multiverse in play. That's where Maestro comes in. Debuting in Future Imperfect, Maestro is essentially Hulk's nightmare evolution. He's lived for over a century, growing stronger every year, but with every gain in power, his compassion drains away. Maestro is terrifying not just because of his raw strength, but because he's Bruce Banner without the morality. He's cold, calculating, and convinced the only way to save humanity is by ruling it. Introducing him through World War Hulk wouldn't just promise a massive battle on Earth, it would hint at something darker brewing underneath. Imagine if the war itself is the first step in Hulk's descent. What if the rage, the grief, and all the losses Banner has endured eventually push him into becoming Maestro? With the multiverse wide open, Marvel has the perfect excuse to bring him in, as a dark future version of Hulk, an alternate variant, or even a shadowy manipulator pulling strings from behind the scenes. His presence alone would instantly raise the stakes. And then there's the wildest casting idea of all. Edward Norton as Maestro. Just picture it. Norton's older, corrupted Bruce Banner, ruthless and broken, facing off against Ruffallo's Banner in the present. That's not just fan service, it's a symbolic clash between who Bruce was and what he could still become. It's the kind of move that would break the internet and redefine Hulk's place in the MCU. World War Hulk isn't just about smashing things, it could completely reshape the character's legacy. Marvel has been quietly building the hype around World War Hulk. It feels like the studio is setting the board piece by piece, positioning this as one of their biggest non-Avengers event films. The goal isn't just another blockbuster, it's to create a massive, emotional, and visually explosive epic that could rival Marvel's biggest movies. Imagine Ruffalo's Banner facing off against Norton's ruthless Maestro, while Banner's more tragic version gets pulled into the chaos. It's fan service at the highest level, but also a clever way to make the multiverse feel even bigger and more connected. If Marvel really commits to this, World War Hulk could end up being more than just a Hulk solo film. It could be a celebration of the character's entire cinematic history, while also setting the stage for where he goes next in the MCU. It's exactly the kind of bold, fan-driven storytelling Marvel needs right now, and if they pull it off, it has the potential to be one of the most unforgettable Marvel movies ever.